Afternoon. I'm trying to figure out what I can say that hasn't already been said. And as soon as I made that remark, I looked back to the left corner and somebody said nothing. I know you want us to get on with it. This has been an incredible afternoon. But I think what I want to share with you is a personal reflection as we're talking about moving to solutions, innovation in rural and urban cooperation. And I wrote something down as Ms. Josie was talking, and it says that I am the product produced by the possibilities of partnership. See, I'm a kid that grew up in the shadows of this very Marriott. I grew up over in what we used to refer to as the old Walnut Terrace. I grew up in southeast Raleigh, and when my mother was coming back to North Carolina and the partnership with my father fizzled, it was because she had three specific partners in rural and urban areas that enabled us to have a better future. You see, when the partnership with my father and my mother fizzled, my mother needed a place of care for me as a 4-year-old to be reared, a safe place where I could be educated. Now, some of us now have gotten a little fancy and we call these people FFN providers. I didn't know what an FFN provider was, but I did know what a mama was. You may call her Mima or Grandma. That's the place that when the Young and the Restless went off at 12 o'clock, or as when the Price is Right went off and the music for the Young and the Restless came on, you knew that you had to go to that back bedroom. This is the mama that made sure that every afternoon while she was enjoying her soap operas, oh, excuse me, I'm from the South, stories. And we only had 4 channels, ABC, CBS, NBC, but there was that little channel called PBS. And only in America, in a place called North Carolina, can a kid who learned how to read watching Sesame Street become the chief content officer of the statewide public media network. I am the product of somebody's possibilities through partnership. So in addition to the FFN provider I call Mama, my mother had another advocate for me. Now, some of you knew him as the late Senator Vernon Malone, the chairman of the school board of Wake County. I knew him as Uncle Vernon. Because no matter what happened when I was in school and I needed to make sure that my destiny would not be cut off by somebody trying to marginalize me, it was this partner who cooperated with my mother to show up to make sure that I had an advocate for my future success. So the stories that you hear today and the stories that you hear from people, this is just not idle talk. These are things that transform communities and make a difference in the lives. For the investments of wisdom and seed that you invest in the lives of people today will produce a future harvest of hope and a destiny that shall not be cut off by mediocrity or disinterest. So good afternoon. To those here in attendance and those joining online via live stream, UNC-TV, aka Public Media North Carolina, is proud to support the ReCONNECT North Carolina series as an advisor. The aspirational goals of the ReCONNECT North Carolina series are aligned with our vision and our mission at UNC-TV. Our vision is to be a vital, indispensable service and partner to all North Carolinians, while our mission is to connect to the greater good by connecting North Carolinians to each other, the world, and endless possibilities. The effectiveness of our mission will always be measured by how well we show people that Public Media North Carolina cares. This is an acronym that stands for Connecting Audiences with Resources Through Education and Service. This is why we enthusiastically support the work of ReCONNECT North Carolina. And the Institute for Emerging Issues has identified 5 communities out of a pool of applicants who are moving the needle on addressing a root cause of disconnection. Now, there should be a map that is coming up right now. IEI will work with these communities over the course of the series, providing them with resources like storytelling, publicity, civic dialogue, training, strategic planning, and the opportunity to participate in peer learning, with others working to increase connections in their communities. But mostly, IEI is interested in learning from these communities what is working, what challenges they are facing, and how they are overcoming them. Now, in a moment, you'll hear from each community who will tell you what they're trying to accomplish. As our speakers are now making their way to the stage, I'd like to share a brief video that we were privileged and pleased to produce at UNC-TV to highlight these communities.
All sorts of people will tell you what divides rural and urban North Carolina. At NC State's Institute for Emerging Issues, we're looking for what unites us, how people across the state are sharing workers, creating supply chains, even handing off economic development leads to one another, all to make their regions and the state stronger and better. We're proud to introduce you to 5 places that are reconnecting rural and urban.
Our project is STEM Scenic, which brings together 13 counties across southeastern North Carolina. And we're looking at leveraging STEM education as a gateway for workforce development and also to enhance education in the communities. We're bringing together very diverse stakeholders, and we think if we can figure out how to solve this issue and develop STEM education, we'll be able to develop a model that will be useful across the state and perhaps the nation.
Tourism and manufacturing have been at odds in North Carolina for well over 100 years. Outdoor recreation is bridging that divide to create good jobs, thriving communities, and a healthy environment. The Growing Outdoors Partnership, with support from Appalachian Regional Commission, is growing Western North Carolina's outdoor recreation economy in a way that works for all.
Us against them. Everybody is an us or a them. Education, racial, cultural, generational, economic.
We're Project Empathy, and we are seeking to build intentional communication, relationships, trust, and ultimately empathy.
Strong regional food systems will be a very important way for North Carolina's urban and rural communities to come together, especially around economic development, but also climate resilience and collaboration on local government levels. Project 40 is designed to bring 40% of the Triangle's food from the region by the year 2040. Currently, that number is closer to 1%. By channeling the amount of money that the Triangle spends on food towards North Carolina's rural areas, we'll set up strong circular economies and strong opportunities for collaboration.
Carolina Core is creating a regional brand for 17 urban and rural counties in central North Carolina. The purpose is to leverage each other's assets for job creation and investment. We believe that a win for one is a win for all, and supporting each other's efforts creates a domino effect. Alone, we're individual communities with limited resources, but together, we're a competitive global story.
To find out more about how we can bring together different parts of our state, please go to our website, emergingissues.org.